All right. Welcome back to another episode of Elevated Marketing Dad Podcast, where we simplify complicated digital marketing topics to make your business grow. Today, we're going to talk about storytelling. I'm going to tell you bedtime stories, Brenna.
I could use the nap.
I'm hoping to lure you into the podcast and want to talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a story about something that you have done that you will never do again.
I have a list of things.
Brenna's like, nope, not doing that again.
I have cut multiple avocados before in my life. And one thing I will never do again is try to get fancy with the way I cut an avocado. Because the last time I did, I wound up with 5 stitches in my hand. So I think, I'll just be boring when I cut an avocado.
Yeah, no need to get fancy with the knife, Brenna. It's fine. Nobody's watching. Nobody's looking.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was just my cat who's an audience. So
I feel like when this question comes up, something that I feel like is a one and done for me, which I know I will backtrack on, but Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
Check, done. But I can imagine as soon as I, potentially have grandkids, I'll be like, yeah, let's take them. But like, to me, it was too many people, too much going on, like too much running from this thing to that time, like not enjoyable for me.
Yeah. Amusement parks like that are very people-y, but Disneyland, Disney World, with like all the children, I think it's even more so like overwhelming.
Yeah. Way too many people going on there. All right. Well, let's talk about the, importance of storytelling too, and the value of it in your marketing. I can't say it enough about how, when you can tell a story to someone about a product or service, and you can really like get them involved to where they, feel like they're a part of that story. They can picture themselves using that product or service, or you tell a story about how they will feel if they use your product or service. Like you've got them hooked. Like they're like eating their popcorn. Like, let's go. Tell me all about this. How can I get involved?
Yes. Yeah. That emotional connection is going to be what gets people to stop scrolling or, focus all of their attention on what's in front of them. And I mean, you've said it countless times, people purchase things based on emotion. And so, yeah.
They're usually seeking some sort of emotion and they're looking to solve it. Mm-hmm. So either they're frustrated, they're sad, they're mad, like, and your product or service, solves that. So when you can walk someone through a story and you're basically putting them in the mindset that, aren't you mad about this? Yeah, this is super frustrating. Okay, well, I can solve it with product A, B, C. Like that story makes people feel like I have to have this because they understand, they get me, they know what my problems are, versus, hey, we do this, XYZ. Do you want to buy?
Right. Yeah. You have to find something that's relatable for your audience. And like you're saying, like it'll help them remember your product or service, but also it kind of gives them like a little insight to your brand identity and like what you're all about, why you do what you do, how you help people.
Yeah. And I feel like some brands do really well at this, and then other brands don't, because it really takes like a creative brand in mind to think through what is the story here that I want to tell.
Yeah.
How do I want people to feel when they walk away from buying our product and service? Or how do I think people feel before they buy our product or service? And words matter.
Yeah, for sure. And if you can nail down, the storytelling, it really will kind of set you aside or set you apart from your competitors. And I think that is a huge plus, of course.
Yeah. I mean, it gives your brand an identity.
Mhm.
So, you think about with Nike, it's a piece of clothing at the end of the day.
Mhm.
But is it a piece of clothing in their marketing? No.
No.
It is a identity with a tough it up, you can do it like type mentality, and that's what they want people to feel. And because of that, they've created this culture of people that want it just because of the logo.
Mhm.
And that's your ultimate, like, I need to have it because it's Nike.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in my experience, it's not often that I've heard, like, I want this Nike shirt because it's really durable. The quality is great. It's
Yeah.
not ever because of that.
No. I mean, think about all the knockoffs that people wear
Yeah.
and things like that. You know, uh, it the other thing I think about is how your storytelling starts from the very beginning that somebody interacts with your product or service all the way through customer service,
Mhm.
follow up. Like, what does it feel like when I interact with this brand? Are they frustrating to me or are they very helpful? Definitely plays into that story and narrative that people get about your brand.
Yeah. And you may even be associated with a product or service that is one of the most painful purchases anyone could make. But if you have this storytelling and, like you're saying, the process all the way through to customer service, like you could really help turn around something that may suck
Yeah.
and provide a great experience.
Yeah. I think about that. Like, my heater goes down.
Mhm.
I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm not happy, and I'm needing, to call somebody. And if I've been doing this storytelling and I've really, talked about how it's going to be an easy process and just call us from start to finish and that type of storyline, I'm going to call you in the middle of it because I know you can take care of it. But then after the fact, if you suck, then you just ruined your whole story.
Mhm.
You got to follow through.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's creating that memorability too that not only is going to carry through to maybe there's down the road you need help from them again or through word of mouth. Maybe they've got a
Yeah.
friend who needs help and yeah.
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 I think about this in complex information.
Mhm.
Um, when you have to explain to someone a product or service that maybe is a brand new product or service. Nope,
Mhm.
it doesn't even exist. You're not selling against, somebody else that already offers the same thing. You are basically explaining a brand new product or service, and stories help you simplify that and humanize that complex information and make it more accessible and understandable to audiences.
Yeah, and I think about a lot of times in healthcare, we'll see so many technical stories or terms being thrown out. And if you can relay that to someone who's not in the medical field, that's very important.
Yeah. Another way I see stories kind of being used is for cultural relevance. This one I think is, I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think you have to really be careful
Mhm.
about
Great.
what do you want your brand to stand for. And you have to be prepared for potential backlash
Mhm.
in today's environment and be okay with that because you're not going to make everybody happy. I'm not saying don't stand for something.
Mhm.
I'm just saying think about it before you do it.
We live in a world where everything is very public. So.
Yes, and everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
And do you want to be remembered for this, or do you want to be remembered for that? I've certainly seen a lot of brands make stands on things, and it didn't go so well.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And I think you can show your brand's personality in your content that, I don't know, is maybe a little more not like just generalized, or
Well,
maybe
you
more
have
politically
like
correct.
company values, you have company
Yeah.
missions, and that's where your personality of your content really needs to shine. This
Yeah.
is what we stand for. This is what we're all about, and you stick to it. I think of like I'm giving major brands here, but like Amazon. I mean, they have that story of you're going to get your packages on time, and if you don't get your packages on time, you're frustrated, right?
Yeah, because it's been happening a lot lately.
But if you get them early,
Mm-hmm.
then you're super excited. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
So I think there has to be this like psychology of under promise, over deliver. But if you promise and market all over that your packages will be delivered on time and then it's not, I really don't want to hear your story about XYZ driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Figure it out. That was your story.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of times customer loyalty can come from the storytelling itself, because the storytelling is, in a sense, making these commitments. And if you follow through on that, then you're going to gain these loyal customers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something definitely to think about as a marketer, that if you're going to tell this story, let's make sure it's going to actually happen.
Yeah, we've had that episode about like making guarantees in your marketing. I think that's worth a listen if
Yeah. If you can't follow through on a guarantee, you're going to leave a really bad word of mouth, and and you don't want that storytelling.
No.
All right. Any other last minute things you think about for storytelling?
I think like technical, when it comes to storytelling, like you can convey a really great story without a bunch of, say, filler words, or
No.
I don't know. It's just, it needs
Being
to be,
concise.
yes, it needs to stay true to who you are as a brand and a service and product, what have you. You can tell a great story and still stay true to, who you are.
Yeah. That makes me think of my own LinkedIn. I see sometimes people with these paragraphs and paragraphs of information, and they're great writers and they're great storytelling, but usually my storytelling is pretty quick and to the point. It's not long and drawn out, because personally for me, I'm an efficiency person, and I get annoyed by really long stories. I'm like, get to the point.
Yeah.
Susan, I don't have time, okay? What do you want?
I could have wrapped that up in about 15 seconds.
Yeah. I have a habit of doing that with people in person. I'm just like, yep. I'm thinking in my head, do you have a point?
What are the cliff notes?
Yeah. That's my own habits. The moral to that story is some of us want you to get to the point a little quicker. Know your audience. All right. Well, that's it for now on storytelling. It's definitely very valuable in your marketing and can definitely make the difference maker. So definitely tell us stories in our rating and reviewing of the podcast, or, go ahead and subscribe to YouTube so you can listen to our stories. I feel like I'm like forcing this, but I'm like, I gotta get that story in there. All right. Take care, everybody.